They desired to observe, so we granted them permission. Eyes. They believed we had reached our zenith, subdued, established, finished with the element of surprise. Yet, we delivered an unforgettable moment, and their gaze remained fixed upon us. If you're among the familiar faces, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Supporting the channel in this way is truly invaluable, and it makes a bigger difference than you might realize. If you're joining us for the first time, a warm welcome to you. I trust this will bring you pleasure. Let us delve into the matter at hand. It's honestly exhausting, Mrs. Blake declared, collapsing into the arm of the couch as if she were putting on a show for her audience. She released a dramatic sigh, night after night, as if we were competing for a medal or some grand prize. Mr. Blake wore a sly grin, his gaze fixed intently on his drink. What is there to express? Many among us continue to flourish in our prime. Their laughter rang out, a touch too loud, a hint too sharp. It was no mere jest shared between them. It was an exhibition for us. Tom settled himself next to me on the adjacent couch. One ankle rested nonchalantly over his knee, a serene presence, yet I sensed it, the way he became utterly still as she continued to speak. Mrs. Blake lifted her glass with a subtle smile, casting a glance our way and at the hearts. But really, you all don't have to fret about that anymore, do you? I inclined my head. She persevered. You have certainly dedicated your share of effort. Now you have the opportunity to unwind and savor the serene moments that life has to offer. There's no requirement to stay abreast of everything. With a subtle flick of her hand and a playful smirk, she hinted at the unspoken expectations of the night. A gentle chuckle escaped Mr. Blake's lips as he murmured, "They've earned it," as if bestowing a compliment upon them. Opposite us, Mr. Hart cast a fleeting look at his wife before his gaze fell to the ground. She offered a constrained smile and adjusted her position, her fingers lightly grazing his knee. Neither party engaged in a dispute. They appeared to be in accord, as if they had come to terms with it, while we remained unconvinced. I let my fingers glide gently over Tom's thigh, coming to rest against him as I placed my glass down. Indeed, I remarked, my tone gentle yet purposeful, we continue to do it. Nearly every evening, Mrs. Blake would blink, while Mr. Blake gazed intently, the smile on his face fading just a bit. I faced Tom, my fingers gliding softly up his chest. This one is a formidable presence in the bedroom. A sharp, shallow inhale pierced the silence, a sound that lingered in the air. Tom let out a soft chuckle, his eyes finally locking with Mr. Blake's. After 21 years together, he remarked with a serene demeanor, I would argue that the last 5 have been the most rewarding. Mrs. Blake chuckled, though the sound seemed more fragile this time. Are you telling me, every single night? She surveyed me from head to toe, then shifted her gaze to Tom. I mean, you still look incredible, but there's no chance he's keeping pace with that. Her smile suggested she was granting us a kindness by feigning belief. I allowed the silence to linger, then a smile crept across my face. You might be astonished by the extent of his abilities. Tom inclined his body ever so slightly, his voice steady and composed. She effortlessly facilitates staying in the loop. Mr. Blake let out a half-hearted laugh, tinged with a hint of nervousness. Indeed, I find it hard to accept without witnessing it firsthand. I inclined my head. Do you genuinely believe I'm just putting on a show? He remained silent, yet his gaze held steady, unwavering. I allowed the silence to linger, permitting the tension to deepen ever so slightly. In that moment, a smile graced my lips. It's interesting, really. I hadn't intended to put on a performance this evening. I positioned myself before Tom, gently gliding my hand across his shoulder. However, given your polite request, I turned my gaze toward Mr. Blake. Don't claim I didn't offer you an opportunity to withdraw. Tom reclined, his arms sprawled across the couch, exuding an air of complete relaxation, as if he were fully aware of the unfolding events, as though he had been anticipating this moment all evening. I faced him, letting my fingers glide gently along his chest. Silence enveloped the room, and then I sank to my knees. Mrs. Hart emitted a gentle gasp. "What are you up to?" I kept my gaze fixed on Tom, performing for an audience unseen. As my fingers brushed against his zipper, I felt a surge of anticipation. Without uttering a single word, I simply extended my hand and enveloped him within my grasp. He was solid beneath my touch, unwavering, poised, anticipating. I allowed my fingers to rest there, deliberate and unhurried, granting them the moment to comprehend what lay before them. Then I cast a glance over my shoulder and offered a smile. Not a soul stirred. I descended with unwavering resolve. Without any teasing or build-up, there is only purposeful movement and unwavering concentration, accompanied by gasps and subtle shifts. A breath lingered in the air behind me, yet I pressed on undeterred. My lips brushed against the surface, gentle and languid, a teasing caress, then once more, even more slowly this time. My tongue traced a deliberate path, relishing the intimacy of the moment. Tom released a gentle breath, the sound resonating deep within him. He reclined into the couch, one hand casually resting on the armrest. Breathing transformed, elongated, more deliberate, profound. I allowed my hand and mouth to glide in unison, fluid and deliberate, unhurried. Each motion, each inhalation, each moment of stillness. I ensured each moment held significance, as if I were crafting something exclusively for him, allowing everyone to witness the process unfold. Tom shifted in his seat, a movement both subtle and unmistakable. In that moment, his hand descended, fingertips grazing the back of my head, not forceful, merely present, grounding me, guiding softly, and I surrendered to the pull. He led the cadence, and I moved in harmony, as if we were both recalling a familiar melody. We flowed together as if it were second nature, as though we were executing a dance we had mastered through time. The space behind me had fallen into silence, yet it was far from vacant. Their gaze was palpable, a weight upon my skin. I sensed the profound stillness that enveloped them, as if the very air had ceased its movement. Yet, I maintained my concentration, unwavering, not for an instant. As I finally withdrew, I ascended, deliberate and fluid, my gaze fixed solely on him. I stood there, unbuttoning my blouse and allowing it to cascade to the floor, followed by my skirt, and then everything else. I gracefully positioned myself on his lap, settling into place with a familiar fluidity. Is there truly nothing left between us now? His hands clasped my thighs, firm and anchored, poised for what was to come. I raised my gaze, connecting with each pair of eyes that filled the room. I trust you found the warm-up enjoyable. And I found myself anchored, pulled in by an unseen force and an allure beyond comprehension. I glided over him in a steady cadence, deliberate and anchored. My thighs encircled his hips, knees anchored into the cushions, hands pressed firmly against his chest. Each movement carried purpose, executed with precision and a sense of gravity. Tom's hold on my waist tightened with every movement. His breath grew heavier beneath me, yet he remained passive. He allowed me to move as I wished, as if he had faith in my ability to dictate the rhythm. I leaned in closer, my chest grazing his, as my forehead softly met his for a fleeting moment. Then I leaned back once more, shifting the angle, allowing more of my body to resonate with his. He exhaled slowly through his nostrils, a sound soft yet laden with unease. I persevered. The room was enveloped in a stillness that was neither empty nor silent, but rather suspended in time. In the distance, the couch let out a soft creak. A hushed exclamation of disbelief, followed by a voice, cutting through the air with a sharper edge of skepticism. I find it hard to fathom that they are truly going through with this. I pressed on without pause. In fact, I advanced with greater precision, emboldened now, more defined at the edges. My spine arched gracefully as I allowed my head to tilt back, savoring the movement with intention. Tom's hand glided over my sides, holding me in place with a warmth that caused my breath to hitch deep within my chest. His body had tightened beneath me, rigid, intent, clinging on. "You're beyond belief," he whispered. I chose not to respond. I shifted once more, delving deeper, moving slowly, fully immersing him in the experience. He propped himself up, his arms encircling my back with a firm embrace. He drew me near and pressed his lips softly just behind my ear. "Come here," he whispered. I inclined my head in agreement. He lifted me effortlessly, our bond unwavering, and gracefully descended from the couch. He sank to his knees and carefully guided me down onto the rug, positioning me softly in the heart of the room. The carpet embraced my back with a comforting warmth. I shifted seamlessly, my legs parting with a natural grace, welcoming him in. In that moment, I beheld Mrs. Hart, kneeling, her lips trailing softly down her husband's abdomen. His hand lingered gently in her hair. Mrs. Blake sat with her legs tightly crossed, a tense figure, her face a mask of unreadable emotions yet tinged with a flush of color. Mr. Blake leaned forward, his elbows propped, his gaze steady and unyielding. I gazed upon them all, and a smile graced my lips. They questioned our resolve. At that moment, their gaze was utterly captivated. Tom knelt between my legs, one hand resting softly on my thigh, the other positioned firmly near my ribs. Our gazes intertwined. He approached me once more. He descended upon me, enveloping me with his entire presence, intentional and thorough. His form lay atop me, chest to skin, a warmth radiating through every point of connection. With my legs entwined around his waist, I held him near, anchoring us to the soft rug below. The room disappeared. The very sounds seemed to fade into a hazy indistinction at the peripheries. What lingered was the rhythm shared between us, dense and intentional, enveloping me in every motion as if we were inhaling in harmony. Each movement from him ignited a spark of something long hidden within. A hand grasped my wrist, intertwining our fingers above me. The other pressed firmly against the side of my thigh, anchoring me with a silent strength that brooked no uncertainty. I leaned into him instinctively, allowing the movement to propel us onward. Air lodged in my throat. His mouth lingered near my neck, not quite kissing, merely breathing, and every subtle shiver within him resonated through me. He was attentive, anchored, utterly engaged. As I tilted my head, I glimpsed just enough of the room to take it in. Mrs. Hart positioned herself above her husband, her movements embodying a wild rhythm, her body rising and falling in harmony with his hands resting on her waist. They found themselves ensnared within it. They were engulfed, while the Blakes stood motionless across from them. With arms tightly crossed and lips pressed into a pale line, Mrs. Blake remained utterly unfazed. Her husband gazed ahead, his knuckles interlaced tightly between his knees. It seemed as if they had lost the very essence of inhalation, the most youthful pair in the space, utterly unraveling. I glanced back at Tom. His eyes remained fixed on me, unwavering and intense. The motion lingered, the weight pressed down, the warmth enveloped, all of it remained, coalescing into something more substantial. In an instant, his arms enveloped me, one cradling my shoulder, the other supporting my hips, and with a fluid grace, he pivoted me effortlessly. My hands gripped the rug, my knees splayed wide beneath me. A sudden jolt coursed through my spine, warmth surging up my throat. He fell in behind me, intimate, unwavering, resolute. "Do not restrain yourself," I whispered. He did not. Hands gripped my hips, and the rhythm shifted completely. Enough with the waiting, enough with the holding back. Every movement carried intention, unwavering, rooted, and relentless. The resonance of our bodies colliding enveloped the space, akin to a distant rumble of thunder cascading over soft fabric. My arms quivered under the weight, elbows flexed, palms pressed flat to maintain my connection to the earth. Every fiber of my being tightened, prepared, and then unfurled once more. A fleeting look back, and there she stood. Mrs. Blake. Her gaze held mine, lips slightly parted, suspended in time, not assessing, merely observing. I remained steadfast, my gaze unwavering. I longed for her to perceive. With a decisive motion, I faced forward once more, allowing all distractions to fade into oblivion. The rhythm surged, piercing and all-encompassing. His grip was unwavering, my lungs constricted. My body coiled, elongated, and lingered precariously at the brink. A release stirred within, a sound emerged, a blend of breath and lament. I bent forward, shaking with intensity. The world enveloped me in a blaze of warmth, a fervent and dazzling glow that took my breath away. For a fleeting instant, just enough to draw in a single shallow breath, he halted, then surged forward with greater intensity, more determination, more vitality. He continued onward, unwavering. Speak truthfully. What would you have done if you found yourself in his position, with the entire room observing your every move? Would you have restrained yourself or pushed the boundaries even more? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I shall immerse myself in the pages of a book. Before you embark on your next adventure, remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and activating notifications, ensuring you stay updated with all that's to come. Thank you for tuning in.